Good morning, everyone. Two mornings with the manager. It's September 6th, 2023. And as always, I put together a few items that I think might be of interest for you to learn about or to hear some more information. Last week, Wednesday, we had a special council meeting. In that meeting, the city was presented by Mid-Penn Housing with their proposal for an affordable housing project behind City Hall. The Mid-Penn team and the city team had negotiated for quite some time about details for that specific site. And what we presented on Wednesday last week was basically a project that has an extended footprint and allows for 42 units to be built on that site. All 100% of the units will be affordable housing units. I believe there will be one unit dedicated for an on-site property manager, and then the other 41 units will be rented out to those who are eligible to rent those units. The city is providing the land for that project at no cost. We also are allocating $1.5 million as an additional loan to Mid-Penn Housing, plus we are providing through grants as well, offsetting development cost. When something that's getting built, there are a lot of folks that have to look at that. Land surveyors have to survey the area, engineers have to prepare engineering drawings, etc. So there's a lot of work involved, and we also received grants from the state, which we are making it available to Mid-Penn as well to kind of offset the housing cost. Last but not least, another element that the city is providing for that project is water. And it is water that the city has on those sites, but also the last remaining buckets of water that we have actually in the overall water allocation for the city. So with that project, which hopefully will break ground sometime around November 2025, with that project, we will deplete our city's water allocation. Nevertheless, it's for a great purpose. But what it will also do to us is unless we get additional water to the peninsula, we cannot even build a restroom somewhere in the city or do other remodels that might require to use more water. Let's just say you want to build in a shower into a city-owned building to encourage people to work out during lunchtime, etc. So again, Mid-Penn Housing, the project is marching forward, received great reviews, great comments, great feedbacks. And as you recall, we started this process of looking at those properties, I think something like 2 or 3 years ago. And at the end, council felt one project was actually feasible given the experience of the developers, given also the number of units and given also the available water. And that's the project that is right now going forward. Mid-Penn Housing is applying for a major grant with the state of California. We are, of course, supporting that grant. We have high hopes of getting something like $2.5 million as a state grant for that project allocated. The reason for that is, as I indicated earlier, we as the city of Monterey, you as the taxpayers, are supporting that project by providing the land and the water and additional funding in the form of a loan to make this project feasible and also to bring it over the finish line. Mid-Penn is an experienced affordable housing builder. They build the senior housing for lowest income affordable housing here already in existence at the end of Van Buren Street. And that project also was built by MidPen. I believe it has 18 units for 100% affordable seniors. So we are going forward to build that water. The question is from Susan Allen: does this mean the ability to add a second bathroom to one bathroom is no longer available? No, that doesn't mean it. When I spoke about water allocation for the city of Monterey, that's what we have as the city of Monterey, as the property owner, city of Monterey. It doesn't mean for the city. So if you have a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, that is not affected by that. If you want to add an ADU or you want to add a second bathroom there, the water district will still permit that. So when I spoke about that depletes the water for the city of Monterey, I really meant our organization as the city of Monterey. Great question, and glad I could answer that. So that was a great meeting, and now let's jump into last night's meeting. We had a meeting that went from about 7 to I believe 11 p.m. and it was very much all about a rental registry. The council had discussed the pros and cons for rental registry on and off over the last 2-3 years. Our agenda report provides the history of those conversations with the community and with the council. And earlier this year, in April, the council gave clear direction to city staff to provide everything necessary to implement a rental registry. And so what we did as staff was take those marching orders and given to us by a majority of the council, and then started implementing that. We held a public workshop and open house about that. We provided information on different media channels, all the channels that are at our deposition as well. And then yesterday, we actually presented a rental registry that we felt was appropriate for the purpose of the council and for the purpose of this community. And we had yesterday an interesting crowd turning out for that meeting. There were quite a number of individuals sitting in the audience. For the first time, I think the council chamber was half full, and then we also had strong participation online. The council heard predominantly negative comments. The landlords, property managers, property management companies, etc., had certainly mobilized a great deal of folks that came and shared with the city council their concerns about the rental registry. And online, it was similarly staffed with respect to folks who are speaking up. Mainly also against the rental registry. At the end of the night, the council stuck to their intention of implementing something. And after listening to all the arguments made and the pros and cons, the council passed the first reading of the ordinance with some minor changes to the ordinance, and we will bring that ordinance now back in 2 weeks. And then the council will hopefully pass the second reading, and then 30 days after the second reading, the ordinance will become effective. Key elements of the rental registry are that property owners, landlords, have to register their rental units by a certain date. We will start actually the registration process in January 2024. And then they have to submit data about the units that they are renting out. Yesterday, the statement was made, all the data is somewhere available. It's not. It's really not available. Yes, we know the parcel numbers or the APN numbers. We know who owns properties, but we really do not know what is on that property, how many units are on in an apartment building. Those numbers keep changing also as landlords are adding units or tearing walls down. So we don't know if it's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, if it's a studio, how many bathrooms. So the rental registry will give us all the data. As I stated, the data is not available in that format. But more importantly, the landlords and property owners are required to share with us the rent that they are charging. And what the council wants to get out of that information are several things. They want to look at the price levels that we have here in Monterey for rent. They want to take a look also at measures that they can consider implementing later down the road if they see there is abuse of rent increases, if they see there's non-compliance with the rental laws that our state legislature passed quite a while back. So we will have basically a tool hopefully in place that makes decision making by the elected officials a tiny bit easier. So rental registry was passed last night with some changes to the ordinance, but really not substantive, small tweaks here and there, and we will put this all together in a nice format again and bring it to council in 2 weeks. What we have to do in order to implement it then, should council pass it in 2 weeks, we are in the process of hiring actually an additional staff person who will be spearheading those efforts. And then we have to also select an off-the-shelf software platform with web capabilities. And then we have to implement that, prepare everything, so it's really ready for the official kickoff in January. Another element that was discussed yesterday were the cost for the landlord's property manager to register their properties. We don't know this yet, as I indicated yesterday to the council. There are several factors that we don't know. We don't know really the exact number of units that will be registered. And we also don't know what is the cost on our side. So the ballpark number that I shared with the council is something like $30 to $80 per unit. And that will be all flushed out over the period of time when we are looking at it and trying to identify what should be really charged back. This is not a money-making proposition. We are just ensuring that you, the taxpayers, all get their funds back for those additional efforts. That's a program that is funded not by our normal general fund revenues. They are scarce as they are already, but it's funded basically by the program cost or by the program cost reimbursements that we get through the fees. So that's the future of the rental registry. Again, keep your eyes on the next council meeting where hopefully the council will pass the second reading, and then 30 days later it becomes effective. In the meantime, we are in the final selection of somebody who will spearhead that program, and our work will not stop afterwards, because then of course we have to figure out all the mechanics of that. But what was also important last night was the council received 2 briefings. One was from the Housing Resource Center of Monterey County. They shared with the council the good work that they are doing. Basically, they are an organization, a 501c3, a nonprofit funded by you, the taxpayers, through Monterey County. And their money that they're getting from the state for those purposes. And this organization is helping homeless to navigate through the jungle of agencies to find permanent housing. And they do this in a very smart and slick way by training the folks that they provide housing with for. They have specialists out there that are seeking on an individual basis housing for individuals. So it's staff intense, and those staffers then work for the folks that want to get back into housing, to find the housing and build bridges then between property owners and those folks that want to come back. And the other part that they do is they educate folks who are getting into the housing also in how to manage their money, and also to learn to pay for the rent by themselves. So it was an interesting briefing that we received yesterday, and very enlightening and instructive for all of us. And I think council and staff learned a lot, and will make this part also of our policies and our operations, knowing how they function and how they work. And then a few moments later, after we received that presentation, actually our police department was presenting to us the information about the new police outreach and navigation center that we have opened at Lake Elistero, in the building that is lovingly called the French Consulate, or the old French Consulate. And again, it really nicely supplements the information that we receive from the Housing Resource Center, and basically provides out of that building information for all those folks that are unhoused and who need help in getting into, again, addiction treatments, getting into housing, getting supplies, getting social security payments restored, etc., etc. There are so many things that we have to help people with, and maneuver through, again, a jungle of agencies that have a say, or have actually tools in place to help folks. And we realized sometime during this year's budget preparation also, that we need to bring on board also an navigational outreach person, a homeless navigator, who can be helping our police officers who are interacting with homeless on a day-to-day basis, daily, and help them to navigate through that. So we are also in the process of hiring a homeless navigator. Yesterday, the police was a little bit shy of saying where they were going with that. I can share with you, we are really very, very close in making the final selection and offer here. And then we bring that person on board, and then this person will help us, together with all the other social service providers who are working with our police team members, to really help on a one-on-one basis also the homeless. The location at Lake Elistero is a great location. We have quite a few of the unhoused being serviced in that area. You know, we have on Saturdays, we have at Lake Elistero at the skate park, there's a big congregation in the morning from, I believe, 9:30 to 10:30, where organizations hand out clothes and food and supplies, haircuts are given, etc. That's every Saturday. On Sundays, there is a meal provided at another parking lot in the area of Lake Elistero. You have the Salvation Army working up Del Monte across from the Navy School gate. So we have a lot of service providers in that area. We also know that a lot of the homeless are living in that area. Some of them very overt on the beach or in the parks, and then we have to remind them that if they want a shelter, we can provide them a shelter, and then they have to let us know if they want to go somewhere. And then, of course, we also have homeless living in other areas out of sight of this of the day-to-day routines that we have. So it's a great location. It's also not a police station per se. So we hope really that we can make more meaningful connections at that building. It is open on infrequent hours. We don't really operate it like a 24/7 police station. That station is still at 351 Madison and will remain staffed like always 24/7. Talking about our police officers, on Friday, September 15th, there is Coffee with a Cop at Plumes on 400 Alvarado Street. So join them for a cup of coffee or tea and get to know your Monterey police. Also on Friday, September 15th, also on the 400 block of Alvarado Street, we once again will turn parking spaces into living creative spaces. We are, with International Parking Day, reimagining what we can do with our downtown areas or other areas where we have on-street parking. How can we turn those parking areas into spaces that are entertaining, that show creativity, that show education, for education opportunities for community members. It's a really fun event. If you have a chance, drop by on Friday. Again, it is in the morning hours, starting at 11 o'clock, and will end at 1 or 2 o'clock. So please look at it. And if you show up, we also have small tokens of appreciation that we hand out. Parks always has plants or seedlings that they can give away. The library will have free library cards, no books, sorry. And so there are a lot of opportunities. You will see parks there, you will see the city clerk there, you will see police, fire, parks and recreation. You will see the sports center there. So there will be a great deal of our team members out there, and we really hope you can engage and enjoy a little bit of City Hall brought to you on Alvarado Street, as well as look at parking slightly through a different lens. Very exciting. We did the first one many years ago and it was a huge success. Sports Center. We run another successful advertising campaign right now that we call Fall into Fitness. So I hope you get the intention there. No, we don't want you to fall. This is more about the season named fall. And so we are offering 20% savings on a 10-visit admission pass. The admission pass is a great option for all those folks who really don't want to commit as a sports center member, but they like to work out occasionally. And also, it's a great tool for those who are just occasionally in Monterey and they need to have a premier fitness facility they want to work out in. And so there's a demand for the 10-visit pass. Getting 20% off is a great offer. And I believe the visitor pass is valid for 12 months. And then you have to buy a new one, whether you use them all or not. Intent is, of course, to make sure that you get fit and use it all. We have on Sunday, September 17th, so one event chases the next one right now, and it's all for locals. We have a Monterey-based search and rescue council presenting Missions Day. So that's a big event at San Carlos Beach, Breakwater Cove Marina parking lot, and Monterey Coast Guard Pier. You will see a big show by the Department of Homeland Security, specifically the U.S. Coast Guard there, showcasing what they are doing. And it's on Sunday, September 17th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Talking about being mission driven and be prepared. September is the National Preparedness Month for getting prepared for a potential natural disaster. We are faced here in California with several things that can happen to us. The bay can turn hostile during earthquakes and can create tsunamis. We can have earthquakes, and we can also have wildfires or fires. So it makes sense to be prepared for that, to have a plan in place with your family. If you work in different places, how do you reunite the family? What kind of supplies do you want to store and stock? How do you take care of your pets if something happens? So it's a great uh, annual opportunity for everyone to check what you're doing and to get your house, so to speak, in order. Let me remind you that in 2020, 3 years ago, we had large fires in Carmel Valley as well as in the Salinas area. And we had to evacuate folks from very, very close to the border, the city line on Highway 68. As a matter of fact, we actually were concerned that we had to evacuate more folks inside of the city of Monterey along Highway 68. So this is not something that one should take lightly. You should be prepared. And as you know, as long-term Californians, earthquakes are just a reality here in our area, and it doesn't hurt to think about this also once in a while. That's all what I have from the front office here. I hope you're doing fine. I thank you all for your help and your support. Tourist season is officially over with the end of Labor Day. However, we all know it ain't over. People will be still flocking to the best place on earth you can live and work in. So with that in mind, we'll be happy that we can share our spaces with other people and give them an opportunity to escape from wherever they are and come to walk to the best place you can live and work in. So with that, have a wonderful day and stay tuned. If you have any concerns, issues, as always, send me an email and we will respond as soon as we can. Have a great day. Bye-bye.